First of all, I thank Horticulture University and College of Horticulture, Bagalkot for giving me opportunity to share my thoughts. Now I am sharing my presentation.
Furnished. खाना कैसे?
Sir, is it coming? Sir, screen ಕಾಣ್ತಿದೆಯಾ sir?
Sir, share your PPT.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
France कब से जाता है?
Okay, sir.
ओह
ಸರ್ ಇದೇ ತೆಗಿಯೋದು ಹೋಗಲ್ವಾ? ಹಲೋ ಹಲೋ
Hello, sir. You just proceed, sir. You just proceed. Any problem?
ಸರ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು, ಅದನ್ನ ಮಿನಿಮೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ನಾನು.
ಇಲ್ಲ 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 ಈಗ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಬರೀ ಪಿಪಿಟಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಕಾಣ್ತದೆ, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಆ ತರ ಸೆಟ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಇದೆ.
ಓಕೆ 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 ಸರ್.
You proceed, sir.
Before I am starting my presentation, I post this quote, that is, if you want to shine like a sun, first you have to burn like a sun. This quote is given by Abdul Kalam ji. Because I am talking about the sports and the physical activity, how it is important. In the physical activity, you have to work hard physically. So, in the present situation, if in the COVID situation, if you want to survive, you have to be add a physical exercise in your routine. Now I'm talking about scientific approach in teaching and coaching sports activities. I am assistant hockey coach at Sports Authority of India, Netaji Subhash National Institute of Sports, Patiala. I have completed my BS in BPA, MPA, and pursuing PhD in Toronto University. And I also qualified UGC, NET, and KCET exams. Professionally, I have completed my hockey diploma in sports coaching from Bangalore Center. I also completed level courses in hockey, and recently I have done FIH level 1 in hockey. Now we are saying about that few introduction about the topic, and next what is sports training. Next is prescribing the sports activity to the students. This is most important topic we have to discuss here. Next is FITT concept and training principles and how it works. And finally, the exercise that you can perform at home. I'm sharing few exercises. Yeah, finally, that you can perform in home. Physical activity is any bodily movement produced by a skeletal muscle that use energy. It includes sports, exercise, and other activities such as playing, walking, or any form of physical exercise like dance. It considered as a physical activity. It's audible, sir? It's hearable, sir? Hello?
Proceed, sir. Proceed.
Okay. Exercise not only change your body, it changes your mind, your attitude, and your mood. Yes, exercise not only for your physical growth, it also give you overall development of the human being. It give you relaxation, and it improves your mood. It also affect your psychological aspect. Sports training is a teaching process which based on a scientific principles which aim to achieve high performance. In the sports training, there are the few scientific principles that you are going to follow. Then only you can achieve your aim. Prescribing sports activities. This prescription can be done by these four areas, that is by the physical education teacher or a physical instructor or coach or allied sports person. This is better to go through a guidelines from the physical these four areas, then only you can achieve your full benefit and achieve your aim. Because of physical education teachers, actually they are not perform prescribing exercise to their students, only to their students, but their aim is to create a fit citizen. So it's very important that these specialists who have a sports background, they have to be guide few exercises to the citizen to uh, survive in the situation of COVID, and also to get benefit from the exercise. And I also mentioned here allied sports person, because they have a good experience in the field of exercise and sports. They can also be prescribed exercise uh, to the citizen. Before prescribing exercise, we have to see that what is the aim of the exercise. What is the aim? Uh, Basically, sports will do in for three categories. Means one is for recreation, that small childrens, they are tired from the theory classes, they want to play, they want recreation, fun, enjoyment, so they will involve in sports activity. Next is for to maintain the physical fitness and health. The sports is very important. Large number of population are aware about this. They are going to involve in physical activity because to maintain the health. Third is to be a professionalist, to achieve something for the country in the field of sports. These three areas where the persons involved in physical activity. First, we have to see the aim of the physical activity. Why he want to exercise? He want to do for a recreation and fun, for a or for the maintenance of health and fitness, or for the achieve something. Be a professionalist in one particular. On the basis of this, we can be perform exercises. Before performing, first we have to know about the FITT concept. What is this FITT concept? Okay. F means frequency. Frequency is how many times you are working in a week. How many sessions you are working in a week is called frequency. Next is intensity. How difficulty of exercise you chosen. Next is time. How long you are working. That is also called the duration or volume. How long you are working. Next is type of the exercise. What type of exercise you are going to perform? Is it a simple exercise or a complex one? These four elements you need to think about to prescribe the exercise that develop fitness level and reach your goal. How to use FITT? See, if you want to use this, these principles help to manipulate training program and get better result. It helps to physical education teachers and coaches to change their training to avoid monotony and injury. For example, if you want to develop the endurance, just change in the frequency. Frequency means you are adding one more day of the cardio session. If you are performing one day in a week cardio session, you are going for a 2 days. Then you are focusing on the endurance. Or if you want to develop the strength, you are focusing. You are adding 3 sessions per week of strength sessions, so that you can develop strength. Has the same change in the intensity by running faster or adding some run intervals. If your pace of the run is you are doing a performing a slow jog for 30 minutes, go for a medium pace run for 20 to 25 minutes. That's better. Has the same, if you want to change in the time, then increase the duration of the time. You are performing for continuous for 20 minutes, means you are going for a 30 minutes or 40 minutes continuous run. It also develop the endurance. Next, change the type of the exercise. The exercise you are performing, you just have to be alter the exercise. Sometimes it should be a high intense, or sometimes it should be a low intense with a long duration. Sometimes it good to avoid the monotony, boredom in the students, like cycling, running, aerobics activities. Okay. Uh, Next, also be follow a few principles, training principles in your physical activity to get proper advantage of this. Sports training, because the sports training is a complex process guided by several scientific principles. These principles will prescribe a fundamental guidelines uh, for the coaches for the development of the training program. If you want to develop the appropriate, specific, individualized, and safe training program for different age group, you must follow these training principles. The first principle is principle of multilateral physical development. These principles which I have mentioned here, we are discussing now. That is the principle of multilateral physical development, principle of overload, principle of progression, principle of specificity, principle of variation, and principle of individualization. Uh, for professional level, there are some principles also we can be add, like principle of diminished return, but for general population these principle are uh, yeah, it's fulfilled the benefit results. The first principle is multilateral physical development, means you have to be focused on all the motor qualities. You have to be trained for all the motor qualities, that is endurance, strength, flexibility, speed, balance, coordination, agility, etc. Your focus should be fit for all sports, because in general training, or in for when we are training for the kids, we have to be make them fit for all sports. Then automatically when he reaches his uh, level, automatically his body will adapt to a certain sports. These motor qualities, you just have to be focused now, because I am going to ask some question now here. Mm, this is about the first question. Ability to just answer me in the chat box. Only in the chat box. Okay. Ability to work prolonged period of time without easily getting fatigue is called. Please answer me in the chat box. Yes, it is endurance or aerobic capacity. In endurance or aerobic capacity, we have to work continuously for longer time. Next is ability to act against resistance is called. Please answer me in the chat box. Ability to act against resistance. Resistance means load. Thank you. It's a strength. Next, we are going to discuss about the principle of overload. It is one of the most fundamental principle in sports training. In sports, the overload principle more important for the development of the athlete. To get the effect in training, overload training is required. Because what will happen in training, we have to go for overload, then only we can get the benefit. But the most problem is determining the correct amount of overload. Sometimes that overload will damage the athlete performance. You can increase overload by increasing the weight lifted. If you are performing a strength training, you can increase the weight of your lifting. Next is increase the volume of work. Change the exercise, alter the exercise, go for simple to complex exercises. Modify the order of exercise. Modify some order of exercise. Start with a simple and next complex, or sometime one simple, one complex, one simple, one complex. Like that, you have to be performing circuit exercises. Next is alter the rest interval. Just decrease the time of rest interval depend upon the exercise. Next, usually what we'll do, we'll increase 5% of load in overload principle. Next is principle of progression. Progression is the change in the overload in response to the adaptation. For this, we'll follow some methods, that is linear method, step method, or a flat method. Step method is good that uh, once the body adapt, suppose if any trainee is performing activity for 20 minutes, he will perform full 1 week up to 20 minutes only, then after his body adapts we'll go for 25 minutes. Like that we'll go keep on increasing. That is called as step loading. If you reach your elite level, then it's good for a flat loading to maintain it. In skill training or training for any motor component, the progression is towards simple to complex. Progression not only about training, weekly training, it also in the session training. That is, first you have to start with a simple exercise and go for a complex exercise. That will be better to reach your goal. Next is the load can be increased up to 10% after adaptation. Principle of specificity, set principle, it means specific adaptation to the imposed demand. Adaptation or specific to the load. To get the benefit, use specific exercise, the specific exercise which are related to the particular sports has to be performed. To bring specificity, you have to follow some points. That is, technique should be taught properly and make students to get mastery over it. Major motor component to be of the particular sports must be trained and developed. If any kid want to be become a wrestler, then we have to list down that what are the major motor quality required for wrestling. We have to focus on that. We have to develop, train those muscles which mostly involve in particular event. If anyone want to be a sprinter, focus on glute and hamstring muscles that helpful in the sprinting event. Like that, you have to be specific if you are going towards the professional field. Principle of variation, this is most required nowadays to maintain the continuity in the training, because everyone will start the training. What they will do, they will follow that they have to be do too soon, they have to be reached. Like that the mindset to be means otherwise what they will do, they will do too much too soon too fast. This principle everyone will adopt when the children start the exercise, but to achieve something they have to be patient. It required long term preparation, it required continuity in training. So variation is systemic process of alteration of one or more excess variables over time to allow the training stimulus towards challenging and effective. That variation is required for recovery as well as change of mindset. The variation can be given by alteration of training means, method, load pattern, etc. Or variation of exercises. Sometimes you are performing uh, aerobics, then you are going for a continuous run in treadmill or doing skipping ropes to maintain that same endurance capacity, but variation in the exercise, variation in magnitude of load. That pace of the exercise should be vary. Variation of type of the muscle contraction. Sometimes it required to recover the muscle because generally strength training, once the will go for the strength training, that muscle, particular muscle required at least 48 hours to get recovered. So variation in the type of muscle contraction also, and exercise also most important to maintain the continuity in training. Variation of speed of contraction. If you are performing a squat, then go for a jump squat. Uh, it can also be vary and also be the change in the contraction of the speed. Principle of individualization. This is the final one principle you must follow. This is most important principle because uh, every student responds differently to the same training stimulus because of the various factors. Prescribe the exercise individually to get effective adoption. Uh, we have to be uh, design the training or prescribe the exercise individually on the basis of these factors. Fitness level, because everyone's fitness level is not the equal. Someone when we get tired in 20 minutes, someone will can perform up to 30 minutes. It depends on the fitness level, their exercise we have to be prescribed. Next is the age. Based on the age, we are going to prescribe the exercise. Gender, training goal, this we are already discussed, that the who is go want to play for a recreation, there we have to prescribe exercise for recreation, not it's like a training or workout, so that he or she cannot be feel that we are getting punishment. Okay. They have to feel that they are getting enjoyment. Or if you want to uh, if your main aim is to maintain the physical fitness, or if you want your aim to be a champion in the professional field, then you must train hard. Your aim should be towards the target of winning. Then you have to give your all out effort in the training. Response to the training, how the uh, body response to the training depend upon that individualization should be there. Nutritional status, it will also guide you how you are going to give exercise. Then recovery from the training, some, because every person is unique, some kids will recover faster, or some will take extra time to recover, depend upon that you have to be individualize or personalize the exercise. These are the some few exercises that you can perform at home. That is walking or jogging in the lawn, or skipping rope skipping, treadmill if available, cycling or road cycling or a gym cycling if available. These exercises can be maintain the uh, endurance capacity. Next is mobility and stability exercises. Mobility is nothing but the stretching of joints, make them active. Usually, we will follow before strengthening, assess, mobilize, activate, stabilize, then we'll go for a strength. So, mobility uh, and stability exercises are more important before you are starting the strength trend. And mobility exercise also make you active. Next is balancing exercise. You can also perform balancing exercise like a single leg stand, uh, single leg squat, or T stand. Here I have mentioned few exercises that you can also perform, that like basic gymnastic exercise like front roll, back roll, cartwheel. This is also good for a kids to get to bring coordination, balance in their motor ability. Next is exercise with Wusu ball, that is ball which can use for a balance, to improve the balance, where we can active the proprioceptors. It will help to uh, for the other motor qualities. It indirectly helps other motor qualities, so that uh, uh, just like if your balance is good, you can perform the skill better. If your balance is good, you can perform the your agility will be vary. So balancing exercise also you can perform in home. Next is a strengthening exercise, own body or external weight. You can perform in home, simple like you have to be concentrate on major muscle group like push-ups, sit-ups, squat or wall squats. Few exercises I have mentioned here. Plank. These exercises you can be performed in home to maintain your strength, uh, to build your muscular strength and stability in the core. You can also perform the core exercises. Thousands of exercises you can get in the YouTube that you can perform. You choose the simple exercises and concentrate only on the particular body parts. Like if you are performing the strength training, uh, today means you have to be focused only on upper body or lower body, or sometimes if required whole body. Don't perform too many exercise at once, so that that body have to be uh, recover. So it's better choose at least 8 to 10 exercise maximum that you can perform. uh, Next is you can also perform with strength exercises with external weight. That is, you can use resistant bands, medicine ball, or water bottles, or chair. Any equipment you can use and you can perform strength exercises. But the exercise pattern and that exercise should be performed correctly. For that, you required a proper instruction and guide, because if you are performing squat, if your body is going front over than your knee, then it might be damage your back. Like that, many exercises there. If you are performing wrongly, instead of building the strength, it will damage some part. So better you get guidelines from physical education teacher or coach or allied sports person who have experience in the field of sports. Then only you can perform the physical exercise, or perform in front of mirror and correct yourself. It's the best way you can start. Next is coordination exercise. This is most required to improve the eye-hand coordination or eye-leg coordination. For kids, we can also add this exercise. This will help in their specific field. Many ball drills is there, like catching and throwing, or catching, throwing with the two ball, three ball, uh, or you can also use any equipment like hockey stick or cricket bat. You can also do juggling, or you can also use football. You do juggling, that you can improve your coordination, and you can also add some agility exercises in that to improve the eye coordination. Next is plyometric exercise. This is for a allied sports person to improve the strength. This is the best uh, method, plyometric method, that you can improve your power, that explosive strength, which help indirectly in your speed. Through that plyometric, you will get the benefit in the speed and also the strength. This is a stretch shortening cycle will occurs in plyometric. Uh, there are few exercises there, like a depth jump, box jump, or drop box jump. This plyometric exercise is a different form of exercise that you have to be follow with proper guidelines to get maximum benefit of this. Here I have mentioned one picture, that is the who is performing the exercise. Drop he is doing drop jump, and suddenly is going for the uh, box jump. In this is eccentric concentric contraction will occur. So as soon you reaches the ground, you have to be go for the next jump. How quickly you are performing, you are leaving the floor, that is most important in plyometric exercise. As soon you do a drop jump, suddenly you have to go for the box jump. That is most important in plyometric exercise, that you can also be perform in home, using cot or chair, that you can perform these exercises. Next, finally, that yoga exercises you can perform, which improve your flexibility and also the strength. And it pranayama also you can perform, which the breathing technique, which improve your overall well-being and improve maintain your posture. These few asanas I have mentioned here, but you have to be follow with the proper guidelines. Then only you can get the benefit of this. And during this COVID situation, if you want to improve the immunity, You have to perform the exercise which is where your core, your abdominal region will get twist. Like Ardha Machendrasana, it's the good that where the abdominal region will twist automatically, that secretion of insulation will be more, then the immunity will respond in a good way. So these exercise also good to maintain to avoid diabetes and all. So better go for the yoga exercises at least 1 or 2 day in your routine to maintain the posture and to also to get to improve your flexibility and strength. So these exercises you can perform in home. Few tips I am adding here to maintain the body weight. That is, take the food in a frequent intervals. Don't eat so much in once. You have to be take food in frequent intervals. Eat more fruits and vegetables. Avoid or decrease the intake of sugar, fatty foods, soft drinks, and fast food. Use low fat milk or toned milk. Do physical activity regularly because your body uh, required, if you want to survive in this situation, you have to be follow physical activity in your routine to improve your immunity. So finally I have quoted this: the body achieves what the mind believes. So believe in your routine, follow continuity in the exercise, then you can easily survive in this situation. Stay home, train at home, and stay safe. Thank you. Finally, I thank Horticulture University for giving me opportunity to share my thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you, Chetan Kumar, sir. Indeed,
Thanks.
that's about your presentation was that's about very interesting. That's about many have you have given ample knowledge to many of our participants,
Thank you,
right?
sir.
It's and even you have taken ample time in order to prepare the PPT, in order to share your thoughts to our presenters. I'm very thankful to you, sir, on behalf of university as well as from the sports department. I thank you for sharing your thoughts, valuable time over here. Right, our participants are that's about very happy with your
Thank you, sir.
presentation. Thank you.